You don't really know me. You just wanna do what you wanna do. But that's not the way it should be. No, you better listen to me, boy. I've tried so very hard to make you understand. But the choices you made, baby, they're all on demand. I've tried so very hard to keep my love alive, but you don't wanna meet me halfway. And the understanding and there's no way that we can work it out if we don't pull together. I don't mean to be demanding. I want some understanding. I wanna be with you. What I need from you is understanding. How can we communicate if you don't hear what I say? I need from you is understanding. So simple as 1, 2, 3. Understanding is what we need. Yes, darling. All we need is some understanding, darling. God knows that's all I need. Dear God in heaven. Dear God in heaven. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am that Xscape has their own show. You know, Xscape is one of those classic R&B groups from the 90s that have paved the way, but rarely gets any credit, rarely gets talked about, and I'm just glad they was able to settle the differences to come back together. Apparently it's a 4-part series. It's going to be on Bravo. And I'm guessing 4-part series. I guess that means 4 episodes. And so it's just the shit. That's what it is. I'm just so excited about it. Obviously, as we well know now, most of us anyway, that Miss Candy Burrs wasn't interested. She wasn't interested in a reunion. You know, she just didn't give a damn. She was just like, well, I mean, you know, y'all cute. We had a good long road. You know, we met as kids, but now we're women. Now I'm rich and I don't need ya. I don't need ya. That's pretty much her attitude. But you know, we learned, you know, the reason why and everything. Just a little brief backstory. Um, Once upon a time, it was full of black girls from the hood, from different parts of Atlanta. They all, Tamika and Tiny, they went to school together, I believe, and Tasha's the oldest, so she was like a senior. Candy's the youngest. Somehow or another, they all got together, met. You know, sung for Jermaine Dupri. He had opened his own record label, So Def. That they were the first group signed to his label back in like 92, 93. They put out their album in 93, I believe. Coming at you. Um, and you know, their first single was Just Kicking It. It was a big hit. Then they followed that up with Understanding and all that. They worked on the second album with hits like Who Can I Run To, Feel So Good, Can't Hang. In the meantime, during that time, Tiny had gotten pregnant. Off their first album, Tamika was pregnant. If you look back at the Love on My Mind video, which was off their first album, Tamika was pregnant. So Tamika, I believe, she was the first one that got pregnant. And then it was Tiny. And then Tasha and Candy had their kids later on, I believe. So, you know, it was many issues with the group as it is with girl groups and groups in general, male groups too. Drama, 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 drama. Everybody wants to be the star. Apparently, on the last and final album, Traces of My Lipstick, Latasha Scott, which is the lead singer of the group, she apparently wanted to go solo, and she used the Traces of My Lipstick album to promote her solo deal. Apparently, she got the solo deal, but then It didn't go well, and so she decided to leave the group. Um, well, she left the group, did her solo thing. It didn't go well, or it didn't come out, or whatever. And so she wanted to put the group back together. At that time, Tiny and Candy was pretty much out of the group. And they wrote a smash hit called "No Scrubs" for TLC back in '99, 2000. Um, so all the girls was pretty much ready to come back to the group. So it was Latasha, her sister Tamika Scott, and Tiny. And so Candy was the only one that was on the outskirts that did not want to come back to in the group. She was just kind of over it at that point. She was just like, well, now you need us all of a sudden. No, I'm not coming back. It was a big thing. They made Tiny sign a leave of absence. I don't know what it's called. Y'all tell me in the comments. Basically, they made her sign a form to say that she no longer was a member of Xscape. So she didn't own any rights or whatever, like the other girls did, and etc. And Jermaine. So she actually signed it. Apparently, they sent it over. We found out later on in the episode that they sent it over. It's just like something to scare her, but Candy actually signed it. Candy was actually over it. So along like the early 2000s or so, Tamika Scott, she did a radio interview where she talked about Candy's relationship that she had with Jermaine Dupri, and it was a big thing. And if there was any hope of all four of them getting back together, at that point it was pretty much crashed. It was pretty much crash and burn over with. Because Candy was just like, "Oh hell no, you're gonna talk about me on the radio, and it's just over with. I can't believe you said that." Tamika Scott said that Candy Burris slept with Jermaine Dupri, also slept with Jermaine Dupri's father, the uncles, the cousins, the nephews, the godfathers, and the neighbors. Allegedly, is what she said, child. So I was just like, "Dear God in heaven, not Mama's Joyce, child. I know she didn't do that." But anyway, Candy was over it at that point, and they haven't spoken in like 9 years. Until one day, one lovely day, apparently Tiny is the peacemaker, and Tiny was the one that got everybody back together on speaking terms. And Tiny brought everybody together. They all four of the ladies went up to Tigger's radio station. Well, I think Latasha wasn't there; she was on the phone. But it was Tamika, Tiny, and Candy. And they was on the radio talking, and Tigger, escape back together, yada to the yada. But all Candy wanted was just a public apology. I guess in Candy's mind, she was just like, "Well, this heifer done said on camera that, yeah, I mean, she done publicly put it out there that I was sleeping around with the whole industry, and so since she did that publicly, I want a public apology," which I understand that. But that's all Candy wanted, and then Candy, was gonna go on back to her however many acres home, and never see them broke heifers again. This is all in Candy's mind, how I envision her thinking. She won't ever say this, but I feel like that's how she thinks. Because let's be honest, out of Xscape getting back together, just a little side note, as Xscape been getting back together, I mean, it's great for us, the fans, but money wise, the only two that's gonna benefit the most money wise is the sisters Tamika and Latasha. They have their own money, but they don't have as much money as Tiny and Candy. That's just real. So anyway, so Candy went to press. All she wanted was an apology, and Tigger put it out there that Xscape back together. So then it became this whole big thing. Investors, came and people started talking, and here come Mona Scott. Ugh, I hate she. Oh God. And all that. Mona Scott gonna be working with them on their film, their Xscape story. But actually, one thing I forgot to mention was what pretty much brought all the ladies together was Tiny got word of they were making an Xscape movie, similar to how they, was making the Aaliyah movie, the Whitney movie, the Tony movie, etc., etc. And she got word of that they was making an unauthorized Xscape movie without their permission, without any of them knowing about that. And so they pretty much got together. Candy, only reason for getting together was for the apology. The rest of the girls got together for, and Candy included, but all the girls got together because of this unauthorized biopic. And Candy don't want to miss out on the coin. she's not gonna stand for something like that. So they was just like, what? I know we're not getting along like we used to, or if we ever did, but I want to get together to save our legacy, which completely makes sense. But whatever the reason as to how they all got together, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, for getting these four women back together, because it's bigger than them, and I think they're gonna realize that as however long they're together, hopefully they can stick it out, put egos aside, and work it out, because this is truly a blessing for music, for R&B music. We need these groups in our lives because most of the shit that we're left with is trash, and we need these folks. We need this good R&B, this good somebody rocking, knocking the boots music back in our lives. So anyway, that's just a whole little backstory, child. So pretty much the episode began with Tiny. She's at a restaurant. She sits down, and here comes Tamika and Latasha, and then here comes Candy. It's still a little tension in the air. It's a little weird. Candy just freshly got her apology, and that's all she wanted. So they got down, started talking about the biopic, etc., etc. Now, as I mentioned before, at one point it was Tamika, Latasha, and Tiny. They were Xscape. Candy was no longer in the group, and I think they got a replacement for Candy once upon a time ago, but that didn't last long. That didn't work out. So what they did was, when it was just the three of them, they arranged certain songs, and they took out her parts because she was no longer a member of Xscape because she signed that form. So they arranged certain songs, and they took certain shit out, like I just said, maybe 2 or 3 times just now. Okay. So anyway, they get to practice. We have Andrea Kelly there. Andrea Kelly is nasty. She got, her body is sickening. But Andrea Kelly is the ex-wife of R. Kelly. She was on the VH1 show Hollywood Exes, I believe, with Nicole Murphy, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, once upon a time ago. And I loved her on there. I hate they canceled the show, but whatever. I mean, how many more Exes shows and Housewife shows and Basketball Wives shows can you have? Hell, they're all the same damn thing. So anyway, she's a choreographer. Her body is ridiculous. And she, was there showing the moves and yada to the yada. Latasha, she was just like, one thing hasn't changed is Candy can't dance. I never noticed back in the day that Candy couldn't dance. But Xscape was more so of a vocal group, but they just had choreography. It wasn't like a big choreography group that, gave that song. You understand what I'm saying? We all have those artists that are just strictly vocalists and, do a little choreography every once in a while. But, and then we have those artists that's just strictly choreography based. And, obviously they sing too, but they're all about more so the dancing. Michael, Janet, Sierra, J-Lo, etc., etc. So, I'm sorry to put J-Lo in that category with them, darling. Even Sierra, I mean, Janet, Michael the Great. So, anyway, y'all get the point. So, what I'm trying to say, basically is, what the hell am I trying to say? So, yeah, Candy basically wasn't getting the dance steps. And they all noticed that Candy was a little standoffish, etc. Now, mind you, like I keep saying, Candy didn't care nothing about Xscape getting back together. All she wanted was a damn apology. So the fact that all this is happening, like all of a sudden, it's just crazy for her. Now, mind you, this is probably the girl's plan all along for them all to get back together, etc. But Candy was the only one that was feeling out of order, out of place, because she haven't been in the group for so long. The other three girls, they probably, had secret meetings, probably meeting up, humming together, etc., humming coming at you. But Candy was the only one that was officially not in the group for so long. I believe they said it's been like 18 years since all four of them been together and been performing and all this stuff. So crazy, crazy long time. So Andrea left, and they noticed that. Well, Candy noticed that Latasha told her that she changed understanding. That apparently they took her high note out, and they started doing something else. And she was just like, "Oh, I changed it. Candy don't know the words and all that." I felt like that was kind of shady. Like, if like, I understand I ain't been in the group since whatever, forever when. But the fact that you changed it, Okay, bitch, now I'm back, so change it back. Do the version that I know, but whatever. I don't know all the arrangements and the time frame, whatever. So maybe it was innocent, but I'm gonna say it wasn't. Now, so Candy went home. She was feeling some kind of way. Candy and Tiny are very close. Tiny's close to all of them, but Candy and Tiny are very close. Um, so they walked out and had a conversation. She was just like, "This is weird." She's like, "I haven't been in a group in so long, and I don't know what the hell is going on. What's happening?" Candy went home. She discussed the list that Tasha had sent over to everybody, to Don Juan, that hateful queen, and Don Juan, him was talking, and which I agree with Don Juan and Candy, that Latasha had "Feel So Good" as the first single. And I'm just like, most people don't know "Feel So Good." That wasn't like a big hit for them. Um, and you should, I think that you should start off with the like biggest hit, the upbeat tempo to get the crowd moving or whatever. Which for them is still, which is for them is just kicking it. So Candy and Latasha, they was going back and forth about the song choices and stuff. One rehearsal, Ti came in and he talked to them, and they was just like, "What would you do?" And Ti agreed with Candy that "Just Kicking It" should be the opening number for the Essence Festival. And Candy was excited. She was happy after that, and it was cool to see. But Tasha she's very controlling. She's the lead singer. She's the oldest, so it's kind of like what she says goes. And of course, her little sister, she follows behind her, and so she wants to kind of control the other two as well. I mean, it's a natural thing. She probably don't mean any harm, but it's a natural thing. And she did lead all those songs for the most part. For the most part, if you notice in Xscape's history, who had the most parts was Candy and Tasha. Which is why I feel like they battle each other a lot, because both of them want to be the leader. Both of them want their way, and both of them want to be in control. Tamika and Tiny, even though they're good singers, especially Tamika, they're comfortable with falling back and just going with the flow. Candy and Tasha are not. It's the oldest and the youngest, battling, going back and forth. So, it's definitely, it's a moment. It's kind of like the Braxtons, when you have the oldest sister going at the baby sister. Well, not necessarily, because it's the ones in the middle that's going, whatever. So, yeah, so it was kind of a moment. And then, so in the middle of their last rehearsal, they get a call from Mona Scott Young, and she was just like, "Yo, BET, they heard y'all get back together, and they want to, get up on this, get up on it, like cut close and Keith Sweat." And they was just like, "What?" And Candy was just looking down at her phone. She was just like, what is going on?" So they asked Candy, "Is she available?" Because Candy's doing a live at the restaurant, the housewives, the businesses, it's a whole lot Candy got going on all the time. And so she was just like, "Yeah, I'm available the 25th." And so they all walk out. Now Candy, she's upset. She gets emotional. The sisters went their way, and Tiny and Candy went out their way. And so Tiny and Candy, they start talking, and Candy starts to cry because she was just like, "I'm just thrown into this. I didn't even want this. Like, y'all signed a deal and stuff behind my back. I don't even know what's going on. Like, why didn't you tell me? You fake for that, Tiny. You fake as hell for that. You supposed to tell me that." And Tiny's just like, "What you mean? What you talking about? Like, I don't even know, Candy. Are you in or you out?" And so, they're just going back and forth, and, Candy's upset, and, because like I said, Candy, she didn't want all of this. She just wanted, she's petty, and she just wanted an apology, a public one. And, she didn't plan on Xscape getting back together. She was kind of over those girls, and obviously, she's probably suffered the most hurt from the group, being in the group with the other girls. And so that's the main reason why she did not want to be back in the group, in my opinion, and we're going to see that as the episodes go on. What really happened as to why she really don't want to get Xscape back together. Um, and so they start to cry, and Tiny calmed her down. She was just like, "Look, I don't want you to be upset, but look, either you in or you out. Like, all this, is happening for a reason, and you just need to stick it out and just shut up and just cooperate and just try, It's not like it's like you're holding on to things in the past, which she is, and we're definitely gonna see, what all happened between them, or at least most of it, what all happened between them, as the episodes go by. Just as a side note, one thing I want them to do is get Latasha Scott's makeup together. I'm so sick of her looking muddy and orange and red and pink pastel colors and shit. Like, I don't know why they can't. All the other girls are snatched, and Latasha looks good, but they just can never get her makeup together. I don't know if it's just my TV. I don't know what's going on, but it's at the. I saw it at the Essence Festival online. I saw it at the BT Awards on the TV. I see it on in her confessionals. It's like her arm is dark skin or whatever. And then the face is like this color. See that pink on the satin bonnet? Hey, little girl. Um, I don't quite. It's this pink as well. Like, I don't quite know what's going on with her makeup, but hopefully they fix it. Jesus. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. Candy calmed down a little bit, but we're definitely gonna get more in detail as to where Candy's hurt is coming from as the episodes go by, and I'm just excited. I'm glad Xscape here. I wish it was a longer episodes, but I'll take what I can get, child. Xscape is probably in my top two favorite R&B groups of the 90s. So top three favorite R&B groups of the 90s, male and female. So just excited, child. Y'all stay tuned with me, child. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. With that said, I'm Mr. Chalaki. Mr. Chalaki on Google Plus. Follow me at ItsKingsWorld on Instagram and Twitter. At ItsKingsWorld89 on Snapchat. Chase Himself on Facebook and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.